Seemed about right.
Fair enough.
Alright, Cat doesn't want to go anywhere immediately, so... Where we last left off. The group was heading up the mountainsides of Mount Celestia herself. First climbing up the base of Lunia, then the heights of Mercuria, and now, curiously, above the heights of Mercuria, you have found the relatively low and rolling mountains of Venya. Above the...
Very pretty mountains.
Yes, these are the Appalachians, actually.
Ah, I thought so.
And above the relatively low, flat, verdant mountainsides is a sky that is eternally cloudy, but in a nice, warm way, in which light seems to stream down from every last corner of the sky. It's not that it's threatening rain, it's just peaceful and calming. Like before, you don't appear to have shown up anywhere in particular, so you can pretty much head off in any direction.
Cover my eyes, point my finger out, spin around, and then I end up 36 degrees from where I initially started and go that way.
What?
You picked a direction, and Lake's walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Whatever.
You spend some time out in the woods. Aside from hearing a few animal noises off in the distance, bird calls, insects chirping, there's not much going on. But eventually you come across the sound of someone chopping wood.
Aha! Knew that random happenstance would come into my favor. I'm gonna head off on that direction. What's going on with that chopping wood sound?
Alright, and you find yourselves in front of a woodland cabin that's, when I say small, I mean that it's not just like one room, it's actively shrunken down.
How small are we talking?
Well, when you look over at the person chopping wood, it all makes sense, because that's a halfling.
Ah.
Finally! My language comes in handy.
Turns out they speak Celestial.
No!
That's fine. I can help cover that.
Yeah, so can I.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't look up or turn around as you simply enter.
You having fun there, buddy?
Alright, that gets his attention. Turns around, sees you. Big smile comes across his face. It says, "Well, hello there, fellas."
Oh, no.
Hi.
Oh, I have to say, you guys have been making some good time up the mountain.
How do you know this?
Well, shucks, it's because I was told to wait for you to show up. Help show you the sights of Venya.
Cool.
Who told
We're
you
at
this?
we're at a disadvantage here. You seem to know
Who
us,
told
but we
you
don't know
this?
you.
Well, excuse me, pardon my manners. My name is Yona. Now, you wouldn't know me. I'm not from your planet, but I know someone who knows some people there. Well, I know her name is Yondala, but the halflings of your world know her as Yondeos.
Am I going to be able to roll religion to see if I know what the fuck she's talking about? Because I recognize the first name from other settings, so I know it's a god out of character.
Well, you can if you want to, but Lilly doesn't have to.
Oh,
No.
Lilly spends a lot of her time in the halfling quarter of Vienna.
Well, yeah, because they're short like me.
Yeah. And so you would know
All
that
the doors are the right size.
that the one
Exactly.
and only god they worship there is Yondeos.
Could I make that roll as well?
No, I didn't need to make the roll. It's great.
No.
oh, I should have got head advantage on. Well, let's go with 11. I probably have heard of the name, but not much else.
Well, the name is all that's dropped, so that's really all you needed.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah?
Yeah, for some reason I wasn't expecting that.
Well, Yondeos happens to know that you folks have done a few good turns by the halflings in your neighborhood. And so she wants to do you a good turn as well. And you just happen to have stumbled onto a part of the multiverse that her realm is located on.
Oh, that's neat.
That's oddly convenient, but okay. I'll take it.
Listen, Lily, a lot of things are oddly convenient for us.
Well,
It's almost like the universe wants us to win, considering what happens if we don't.
well, as far as I know, you got a lot of friends here on Mount Celestia.
I have a lot of family.
Yeah, that too.
I suspect there might be friends I don't know about in my case.
Do I have friends here?
I'm gonna ask you're holding one of your friends from Mount
You have
Celestia.
victims here.
I mean, that's fair.
No, actually, I don't think she has victims here because Lily only steals from rich assholes.
Not only, but largely from rich assholes. Because they're more
Yeah.
fun to steal from.
Yeah, which means you won't have enemies here at least.
It's not a nobility thing. It's just stealing from poor people is boring. It's very simple, actually.
Well, anyway, now unfortunately, it's not really up to her to decide whether or not you get to go up through the mountains onto the next layer. But while you're here, you can enjoy the hospitality of the green fields. Maybe we've got a problem or two somewhere around that you can solve to prove your worth.
Love solving problems.
Maybe you do.
Lake is a member of the Problem Solvers Caucus.
Anyway, now I know you're going to be good guests, and so this is probably not going to come up, but in order to be a good host, I should warn you that the halflings in the green fields, both those alive and those who are petitioners of Yondeos, are under the protection of the equivalence curse. Any
What?
harm you deal to any halfling in the green fields is dealt back to you in turn.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on hurting anybody, so
Does that work in reverse? Like, or not in reverse, but rather, if we do good things, does good things happen to us in turn? Or
Well,
is it
that just
one
sort of
way?
happens naturally.
That's true.
That's the whole point of heaven.
Yep. Don't need any godly curse to make one good turn deserve another. Anyway.
All right. Well, we shouldn't be harming anyone here, I don't think.
No.
I mean, that's not any of our intention, I should imagine.
I don't think we'll be
Yes,
doing a
yes.
lot of fighting in heaven.
Like I said, I didn't expect it to come up, but I thought you should know.
Well, thank you. That is nice to know, even if it would have literally never come up.
Anyway, there's a trail off that way that'll lead you in towards the main towns of the green fields. Now, me, I like my privacy, so I've set up my little spot here around the edge.
That's fair.
But if you're gonna find anybody with any sort of problems, that's where you ought to go.
All right. Well,
Lead the way.
Certainly seems appropriate.
Hate it. I hate this like idyllic music.
Anyway, so yeah, you when you say lead the way, Yona sticks his axe into the tree stump and takes you down the path that goes directly into town. There's not much in between there and where you started. And there aren't any sort of branching paths to get you confused. It is a fairly simple and narrow path, though. Apparently, Yona doesn't really have any horses or ponies. But before long, you find yourselves in a town. A place where the mountains roll around just like they do elsewhere, but large patches of it have been cleared out for farms, for villages, for tiny little homes, some of which are standing up out of the ground, and some of which are just built into the sides of the mountains with just these big, round, friendly doors leading inwards.
Okay.
So, better than most towns in West Virginia. Got it.
It's Hobbiton. It's just straight up Hobbiton.
It's just straight up Hobbiton.
fair enough.
It's nice seeing a place where all of the buildings are the correct size.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of fairly prominent-looking larger buildings that appear to be taverns or inns that are sized for medium people, but for the most part, all of the buildings around here, all of the fences, all of the farming equipment and other tools are small-sized.
As I said, the correct size.
But what if they're regular sized and we're actually just giant?
Well, that's what that's what Lily's been telling you this whole time.
Yeah.
But that is certainly the feeling you get when you wander around through here. And yeah, a lot of the people around smile and give a wave, assuming they're not too busy at the moment. And they greet Yona by name, even though he lives secluded away from everyone else. And he smiles and waves back, and every once in a while you meet someone on the street who takes Yona through the full introduction. Even though you never actually gave him your names, he introduces you all by name.
I definitely gave him my name. Come on.
No, we really didn't give him our names at all. He knew who we were. We didn't have to give him our names.
I know, but Aurelia would still introduce herself. That's just how she is.
Insufferable, yes.
Yeah.
All right. And during these meetings along the road, Yona asks, if there's any sort of problems around, any sort of issues that need fixing. Nobody seems to have anything, but finally there's one relatively young halfling, looks about midway through puberty, says,
Uncle is throwing a big party.
Hey, but what about that orc at the edge of town?
Wait,
Yona goes, oh yeah, that orc.
What?
wait, Oak?
Orc made it into heaven. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, into the green fields. Well, it's a funny story. I didn't think about it because he doesn't really cause any trouble. But, well, the thing is that even up here on the slopes of Mount Celestia, sometimes evil people with bad motivations can end up getting this high up in Mount Celestia.
Wow, that's real fucked up.
Ow.
Yeah, how?
Well, a few different things. First is that they can just pretend to be good and do good deeds and get up that way. The mountain's actually pretty forgiving about people with bad motivations. You always got to extend that hand of forgiveness, you know.
I suppose some evil person could also just hitch a ride with some legitimately good people. Not that we would know anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen too. And, well, then there's also the fact that they're hard to find, from what I hear, but there are a few other portals out into the wilder world, even on the upper slopes of Mount Celestia. It's really only just people showing up from the prime material who get stuck on the first level.
Wait, so there could be a way for Harvey to come here? Where he wouldn't get dunked in the holy water?
There are further hazards to undead higher up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, theoretically.
I'm pretty sure that the water is probably the least dangerous part of heaven
No,
for an undead.
No, please, let's haul our lich buddy to the divine realm.
Well, let me just quote you something from the rules here. On the fifth layer of heaven, Merchion, the sky causes 1d6 points of damage to undead for each round.
Well, bring an umbrella. Jeez. I mean, a parasol, I guess.
Lettuce is on and done. That particular realm also has light that kills undead. In their case, it is an extra d6 per round of exposure.
All right, look, I wasn't seriously suggesting that we bring him here, okay? I was just pointing out that technically he would be able to get here then.
Yes, and I was just pointing out how hilariously anti-undead Mount Celestia is.
Yeah, point taken. Don't be undead.
I mean, if you show up with a good reason, you're more likely to find a power or a priest who can raise someone who's undead and then dies from exposure. As for being undead and being on Mount Celestia, no, it doesn't work out well.
It's fine, there's better places to be anyway.
Anyway. Yeah, so the thing is that in the green fields, well, I told you about the equivalence curse, and well, that's not just for flavor or just to be sure. It's because sometimes the enemies of Mount Celestia make their way up here. We even got our own little militia keep us safe.
So, is this orc an enemy, or what's the deal?
Well, that's the funny story. See, the orc, Borgunsh, that's what he calls himself anyway.
It's a good name, powerful name.
Well, I
Big
wouldn't
bad
know.
beetle Borgunsh.
Afraid I don't. I'm afraid I don't speak Orcish.
Good old
But,
Borgy boy.
Well, the thing is that apparently this fellow was part of a raiding party employed by the demons or devils of the Blood War. I'm honestly not sure which side it was, but they got the brilliant idea of making a name for themselves by getting as high up into Mount Celestia as they could, and then doing all the killing and looting they could. Now, of course, when they got to the Green Fields, that didn't work out too well for them. Between the Equivalence Curse and the militia, we mopped them up pretty handily. Except for Borgunsh. See, the thing is that, well, for whatever reason, Borgunsh surrendered. And when we saw that he didn't have a scratch on him, which meant he didn't fight any halflings, he didn't harm any halflings, we figured might as well let him stay. Now, the thing is that, well, he hasn't exactly let go of his old ways entirely. Given him a nice little home at the edge of town. And, well, whenever he wants something, food or water, medicine at one time, he,
Sick here?
well, if you're already dead, no. But if you're not dead, then yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, like I said, this fella, whenever he wants something, he storms into town, smashes a few doors open, demands whatever we have, wields a weapon, even though he doesn't actually hurt anyone with it. And once he gets what he wants, because we would have given it to him anyway, he runs off like he stole something.
He's just having his fun, apparently.
Certainly one way to live life, I guess.
Yeah, well, I get the feeling he's just putting on a show for his own ego. Makes me think, well, maybe he could use someone to talk to figure out what he really wants here. Because, you know, he's stayed here. That means something. He could have left. But he hasn't.
His behavior would make sense given my recent run-ins with the orc tribes.
But with our orc tribes, we don't know what planet this guy's from.
Yeah, orcs can be real different depending on where they come from. This guy apparently thinks that just raiding and acting like a bully is how an orc should be. And, well, now I don't mean to say anything about your culture, your ancestry, but, well, you might like to talk to someone who looks a bit more like him than we do.
Well, I can certainly see what I can do about that.
Well, that would be much appreciated.
You got this, buddy. Can anyone else here even speak Orcish, really?
I do not speak Orcish.
I do not speak a single lick of Orcish.
Yeah, you got this, you're an ass.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see, the languages I have are Common, Celestial, Druidic, Elven, and Sylvan. So, basically as far from Orcish as you can possibly get.
Because I'm literally, possibly the only one who can communicate with it. That's going to be interesting.
Well, at least in his native language.
Yeah. I speak common, who knows? For some reason, common is like the exact same on no matter what planet you go to. So it works out.
It's almost like
fine.
it's common.
Hey, I mean, it was said before that it was designed by the dragons.
Yeah, but that was our common.
Fair.
Well, there's also planar common, which is that weird sort of earworm. Hear it long enough, and it starts translating itself language.
All right.
Mhm.
I think he'd prefer Orcish, though. It's fine. You got this, Grenache. I believe in you.
All right. Well, you are provided directions to Borgunsh's home, and turns out that they aren't that necessary, because as soon as it comes into view, it's pretty obvious which one is his. It's one of the ones that's built into the side of a hill, and instead of the lovely soft colors of the door and the windows decorated with flowering plants, this one is just... One of the windows is broken and covered with a couple pieces of wood. The other one, well, the flower pot is still there, but it's been tipped over, and there's a small pile of soil underneath it. And the door itself is appears to be chipped and damaged. Looks like someone has been using it as target practice for throwing axes.
Well, at least I know what to expect.
Someone who's good with throwing
And bad with pottery.
it.
All right, but the man of the house is apparently not outside, so probably need to knock on the door.
Yeah,
Or Grenache, lead the way.
that's what I do, and
No, you're not supposed to complete the measure. You're supposed to let them do the 2 bits.
Ah! Oh.
See, even he knows that. He's angry at us.
A few moments after you knocked on the door, Borgunsh tore it open, his weapon in hand, staring down towards your stomach crotch region, expecting someone about that tall. And he just stops mid-battle cry, look up in surprise, and oh! Brother!
Oh no!
in August I go, been a while since you've seen one of your own, I take it.
Been a long time. Sticks out his hand.
I offer my own out. Grunash.
Borgunsh. Grabs your hand, immediately starts squeezing it. Roll a strength check.
Finally!
They're speaking Orcish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, it wasn't clear whether Borgunsh actually speaks the planar speech or whatever.
Oh no.
Well, there's a good chance, but at the moment he's talking to a fellow orc.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just wanted to check.
Oh,
wow.
okay. He's got
He's
a
little out of practice.
He's got a real fucking limp
He took
handshake.
up. He just woke up. Let's be fair.
Borgunsh with the limpest fucking wrist.
But yeah, to his credit, you only see the flinch in his eyes. And he drops your hand. Strong handshake. Very good. Shakes out his hand behind his back. How did you get up here? The little folk are wily and deceitful.
It depends on how you approach them. It depends on how you approach many things as to where you end up in this place, I would imagine.
Tricky. That's why I hate it here. Come on in.
Is he inviting all of us in, or just Grunash?
I do speak up and say, what of my companions? Should I have them wait here while we discuss things?
Whoa. Hey, you got a little goblin with you. Good for you.
She's a good person.
Don't lie to him.
I'm so glad that she
Please
cannot
roll
understand
this.
a word.
I know I'm not the I know I'm not the DM, but please roll deception for that.
Hey, I'm not being deceptive. That's what I truly believe.
Yeah. Well, I bet she comes in handy in all sorts of ways. Come on. I guess they can come inside.
Well, it is your home.
I only read enough for myself these days. I don't have
That is
much.
fine. That is fine. We would not need any provisions.
I'm so glad.
Switches to planar columns and shouts, "You are allowed inside.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
But
you,
eat
my
your
good orc.
food. But raid your own food."
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I guess
am
I could
Aurelia de
read it.
Zafarani de Viana.
Already
Prince of
turning
Viana.
around and walking.
No, finish introducing myself.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Grenash turns back and regards Aurelia in Elvish. I do not think its kind would appreciate such
Lake
frivolity.
Lake just has the biggest smile on their face and says, "He is the coolest guy we've met so far, ever."
Yeah, Lily can't hide her shit-eating grin right now.
And Grenash would comment before actually walking inside. Well, what about the dwarf?
Catharsis.
The dwarf never stopped Aurelia on her bullshit, so he's the second coolest person. Now, I'm sorry,
Okay.
Olgaroth.
Alright, we're walking inside.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after walking inside a way, you smell a fairly thick atmosphere of smoke. Like, apparently this guy has been just sort of burning torches that he just sort of crudely dug out holes in the wall to put them. And aside from that, he's also got a raging fire going on in the fireplace. Based on the smoke you can see billowing out, you get the feeling that the chimney might be clogged or blocked or just not cleaned anytime in the recent past. But I mean, all of that isn't enough to actually just overwhelm the oxygen in the room. And so it's just this sooty scent that fills an otherwise surprisingly well aerated underground home.
Have you ever lived in a house before?
he takes you into the main room, or what you figure is the main room, because it's got the remains of a few chairs in it. Looks like this orc, at the very least, is in no need of seat backs. And besides that, he's also, orc-sized as opposed to halfling-sized. And so he's essentially broken down a bunch of smaller chairs and just sort of assembled them crudely into a larger stool that he can sit on. And what appears to be the majority of the furniture, aside from a table that is just sort of lousy with food scraps. Now, between the smoke and the fact that this is still heaven, the food scraps don't smell and they aren't crawling with anything, but it's still kind of nasty.
I mean, it's not like I was going to eat it anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry about the lack of chairs, brother.
Don't need to worry about it.
I don't get much company these days. There's only the halflings down in the rest of the village. Good for raiding, not good for wrestling.
Understandable.
Right.
That's to wrestle. I will fucking wrestle him. I've got 23 strength and I know how to use it.
Yeah, but you're cheating. It's not the same.
So what brings another, a half-orc like you to a place like this? I know my story, but I don't know yours.
Well,
Gods work in mysterious ways.
well, for my part, I have a task to complete to make sure that the world I live in, the one my companions live in, is not torn apart by a creature whose strength is typically beyond most others. But for all there is, we have to try. Of course, that is of no concern of you and yours. It does appear that you have... I think it would be fair to say that struggling has been a common word for you of late.
Struggling? Here? The puny halflings barely even defend themselves when I come raiding. This is the easiest I've ever had it.
Does anybody want to tell him?
No, it does appear...
No, don't poke the bear.
Well, it does appear that...
He has
Well,
switched
you're
back to Orcish, by the way,
Yeah,
Okay.
to have this discussion with
Oh,
Ganesh.
okay.
I imagined that much.
Yeah, just making it clear
Yeah.
to the peanut gallery.
For as much as I see here, it seems your typical dwelling tends to have more game, more excitement, and a different atmosphere than what you were used to here.
Well, I admit the glory isn't as much as I could get if I was still fighting in the Blood War. But, but not every warrior is the best warrior. But here, with a whole raiding party dead and gone, I am the best warrior. I am the biggest. I'm the strongest.
Cool story, bro.
Maybe I won't. And maybe I won't get to tell my story to my fellows, but One Eye himself knows that I am here, that I have brought a piece of the blood war into Mount Celestia, and here it stays.
Would I know about the One Eye?
You would have a chance of knowing. So make a religion check. Oh.
Rich?
How the fuck do you have a plus 11 in religion?
Double proficiency.
Okay.
Real Jesus freak.
Yeah, I think that's a cleric bonus.
Knowledge domain specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, you do know about Grumpsh One Eye. You sort of made a point of knowing it after you got onto the plains and spent some time out here. Or more to the point, you were essentially forced to find out about it because the assumption is, more often than not, that any orc is a worshipper of Grumpsh One Eye. And so you know that Grumpsh is a god of war and battle. His home is actually on, I believe it's Acheron, the more lawful than evil plane, where his forces are in constant war with the forces of the goblinoids. And aside from that, he is particularly an enemy of the traditional god of the elves, who is the one who took his eye way back when. But as far as your background on Mynth goes, you've never heard of the person. There is an entire group of gods that you worship alongside humans and goblins and gnolls from the Southlands. And between those and the Imperial gods, you've pretty much got your holy boxes checked. Don't really need a god of war and evil in your life.
No.
But apparently a lot of orcs do.
I have heard much about this One Eye in my travels. At least where I come from, he does not seem to have much of a place there, but...
Some orcs, yours must be abandoned by the one-eyed god.
You would say that, but they certainly have their own methods. They raid and pillage, and also take trophies of their own. And they even fight among themselves for territory.
At least they have some sense of their own orcishness. But if you ask me, the one-eyed god is watching them, even if they don't watch him.
I would not deny that. It is even possible that one day he might have an influence on them as well. But I suppose that is neither here nor there.
No. Here is Mount Celestia. Here is an outpost of the orcish ways, in the middle of this field of fat and happy halflings.
While it is so, I admit to not knowing what you hope to achieve while being here. It seems that well, what you gain is easy to obtain and not much of a challenge. And while I do confess that it would be a semblance of your god in this place, it does not seem that it gives you much sport. It doesn't seem that it gives you much in terms of satisfaction when it comes to the real ways of pillaging and conflict and contest.
Are you trying to convince him to, like, be more violent?
No, to be violent in a different spot of the multiverse, I think, is what's going on.
Okay, so you're trying to convince him to leave rather than convince him to just, like, integrate more.
Well, it's up to him at that point.
At the moment, Grenache is simply confronting him with the inconsistencies, and I would like to get an insight check.
Insight, alrighty.
Us just stuck here standing wondering what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Figure by this point you've just sort of snuck out and gone to the local tavern, see if they sell knickknacks on the side. And they do.
I can imagine Lilly doing that entirely, so...
Or not the tavern, actually, but the general store. Some of the stuff they've got there is useful. Other stuff is just for fun.
I crave chintzy garbage.
But yeah, 26. You get the feeling that this orc is not necessarily being honest with himself. That what he wants and what he expects to want are two different things. And that, just looking around through the home, you see just through a door where the bedroom is, and the bed is, well, it's a mess of blankets, but it's also in very good condition. Like, he hasn't torn it to shreds for not being orcish enough. And you also see nailed to the wall at various spots are what appear to be his trophies, including what appears to be a very nice basket full of fresh flowers. And a couple that were probably taken from a chicken. Best he could do.
Mm.
And so, yeah, based on what you're seeing around you, based on how he's pulling excuses out of his ass to explain why he's still hanging around here, you definitely get the feeling that being an outpost for Grunch, One Eye, and the Blood War is the reason he tells himself that he's here.
All right.
And speaking of which, he has, to your latest line of questioning, has basically explained that, even if it is easy, it's the symbol of the matter. That's why I'm here. Maybe it might be a little too easy for an orc of my skills, but it still means that Grumsh One Eye's got one eye on the mountain.
Unless he's poked it out, he actually has two. Hey, hey.
Meanwhile, Lilly,
Yes.
among all of the other toys and strange toys and other less than completely
Knickknacks.
useful, among all of the toys and knickknacks and decorations, you discover a single white sequin glove.
Okay.
Michael Jackson's been here.
That is sized for a human rather than a halfling.
Michael Jackson has been here.
Oh god, he's been near the halflings.
Oh no!
I'll buy it.
General store owner lets you have it for 2 copper. Doesn't even remember how he got it.
That one just wants to get rid of it.
It's unique, and that's what matters.
But yeah, back to Grenache. So, what's your response?
I would not claim to be an expert in One Eye, but I propose to you this. You might be here in this moment, but tell me, why would the single eye focus on a place like this with, he indicates the trophies around, with trophies and decorations of this caliber, when in another realm he is looking to the wars, the conflict, and seeking to gain victory over what has been, for as far as I can tell, a war that has gone on for longer than even I have been alive.
Your entire family has been alive, I think.
Blood War has been around for longer than anyone. It's been around for as long as devils and demons knew each other existed. But, well, the Blood War is where you expect to see blood and war. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of both. That's why they call it that.
He's got a point.
It's true. Blood and war, right there in the name.
It's right there in the title.
And you look at what is here.
Yes, I'm here in the green fields. Nobody
And there is
expects
neither
war.
of those things.
Nobody expects war and raiding in the green fields. I saw my friends cut themselves down when they struck the halflings. So I knew that was right out. And as for these trophies, well, that one came from a mighty beast that I slew. Ate every last bit of meat from the bones.
I'm assuming that one was a chicken.
Yes.
I wish I could understand
I
this.
character, but I'll take it in character.
I wish I could understand this conversation in character, because all I can.
You're getting a lot of this just from the context.
Yeah.
and the-
Yeah, I know,
Expressions.
I see him being all super proud, and then Grenache looks over at the chicken bones and asks and says something, and he just kind of deflates and goes, "Yeah."
See, I'm doing more important things right now, so
And over there is the basket of pretty flowers, chopped in the prime of their beauty. And I've left it there since it was after Karen brought them to me. And I stole them from Karen. Right in front of her door, snatched it right out of her hands.
I love this guy. He rules.
behold the internet tough guy.
This is the best character.
How I see it, you are clinging to your old ways and not willing to see that you have changed, even just by being here.
Clinging. Look around. I still live in a cave. I still light the passages with my torches that I work very hard on.
I will speak truth to you. You were living in a broken home with tools that are not fit for the purpose. And all that you have pillaged and sown are mere trophies. And trophies that pale in comparison to most of what I would expect. You were believing that you were trying to live in the ways of old, but you have made compromises given where you are, and for that you have changed. You are wiser than this, and you know that things are different here.
Roll persuasion with advantage.
Reneging does work.
I'm glad you said with advantage because holy shit, that's a 0.
Hey.
Even the low roll was pretty good. Alright, for a good minute or so, he's still blustering and sputtering and calling on the name of Grumshwanai. But as you just sort of sit there and stare at him, arms at your sides, just waiting him out, eventually says, "All right, so maybe war wasn't the most favorite thing I wanted to do. Maybe hunting was not something I was ever good at. Maybe going out raiding wasn't my idea of a good time. Well, I tried, Grumsh, damn it. I went out there anyway. I did what I could. In the back. Helping out the other orcs when they got into trouble. I'm still one of them. I was always one of them. Just not necessarily as good as one of them. And so when I found a place that wasn't necessarily as hard to live with as the Blood War. And the Blood War is really freaking hard to live with.
Yeah, there's blood and there's war. It's tough.
Then let us speak truth then. What would you like to do?
I want to do what I've been doing. I want to live somewhere where it's easy. I don't have to go to war, or raid, or fight.
And here you do not have to.
Well, yeah. Why do you think I stayed?
Then why not make peace with the halflings?
Did you ever heard of an orc who doesn't raid? Who doesn't fight the lesser races? Who doesn't push around the little people?
Grunash gestures to himself. You have one standing right here.
I'd love to see him try to push Lilly around.
He hasn't pushed around that goblin.
Not at all.
You value your shins too greatly.
I can tell from context you're talking about Lilly, and don't mess with Lilly. She will fuck you up.
Is that why you're here with the pale skins too?
As I said, my work here is to take care of a greater evil that threatens our home and beyond.
I thought that just meant that you were their ass kicker. And you're still calling the shots.
I do not like to believe that I call all the shots, but there are a few where I do take charge. Even you could say I gave up two. For them, I stand on the front lines and
Eat shit.
Yeah,
I tolerate what most of them cannot.
Yeah.
tremendous amount of shit for us.
In that way, I am their guardian.
Guardian, huh? Well, you know, a bunch of little people like these could use a guardian.
Hate how like touching this fucking music's gone at this point.
It's really
Grunash just
good
gives a smile.
timing.
I confess there might not be much to protect them from, but
I got here, didn't I? The raiding party got here for all the good it did them.
even so, it would be a testament to what strength you have and what wisdom you have. The reason you live is because you saw that things were not as they once seemed, and things operated in a different law here.
Actually, I lived because I only pretend to swing my axe most of the time. That's that greeting is how it usually goes for me.
Well, perhaps I would advise this. If you wish to take up your arms in defense of the halflings, I could see none that would have a problem with that.
But are you sure they wouldn't? I have been raiding them for a couple of years now.
It's time to break it to him. Tell him that they literally would have given him the same stuff if he had just asked. Tell him. I'm saying this out of character, but please tell him.
Well, they have not sought to come back for their possessions, have they not? I would say that if you earned a place here, and if you have not harmed any of them, then you have rightly earned a place among them. All you need to do is ask the question, communicate.
Maybe.
You said yourselves that they were tricksters, but if they were that much of a trickster, would they have not taken what you had stolen?
No, because I'm big and strong. Or at least that I look big and strong.
Yes, but if they had taken such by ways of magical means...
Ah, goddamn magic.
I feel very slighted for some reason.
Even you have to admit that if they did take it by force, then you would have no recourse to take it back again. That must mean that they accept your presence here at the very least. And despite all that you have done, they still want you here. There are ways you can make peace with them. And it is likely they can teach you much as well.
Guess it's worth a shot. Anyway, you can't stay here. The bed's only big enough for one of me.
Don't worry. There was no intention to stay. We will not trouble you further. It's good
Problem
enough
if you
that you
cuddle.
all...
I get to be the big spoon.
Deal!
I am the big spoon.
You are the big
I
spoon.
am the big spoon.
You are the big spoon, buddy.
Every day I get up and look in the mirror and just go, I am the big spoon.
You guys just hold his head like every time I have to put up with this shit.
That's so funny.
If you like, I can... If you like, I can go back and have a word with them. Perhaps put in a good word. Mention that we have talked and...
No, I'm at least work enough to fight my own battles.
That is good. Then I shall trust it to you.
All right. But yeah, you've gotten through the main breakthrough here. So while the conversation might turn to other subjects, you eventually see yourselves out, taking a deep breath of that crisp mountain air now that you're out of that stinking hole. If nothing else, you have to hope that the halflings teach him how to ventilate properly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would at least show him a few things to make life a bit easier on himself.
Yeah. And as we leave, I go, remembered, man, you are the big spoon.
I just look at Lake and contemplate whether to bop him on the back of the head with temper.
That's fine. It was out of character.
Oh boy.
But yeah, as you're descending from his hill home, you see Lilly has apparently found a new prize.
Check out this sweet glove.
Way too big for anybody here. What the
It doesn't
hell?
need to be the right size. What matters is that it's unique.
That certainly is unique. Huh. How did a thing like that get here anyway? That's a good
Yeah,
question.
that's
actually.
a funny question.
You
That
know what? I don't think they even know anymore.
I don't even think we'll ever get an answer to that question. It's gonna be a mystery forever.
Well, either way. So, what do we do now?
I guess we can try and climb, see if that was what we needed. I mean, it certainly feels like what we needed.
I imagine the change will take time, but
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey.
Good to see you guys again. I was just doing some business in town since I was in the neighborhood. How's that thing with the orc going? You guys
Fuck if
finally
I
got
know.
some sense in him?
No, I don't know. I got a glove.
Oh, a fancy little glove you got there.
I
Where
know,
did you-
right?
Where did you find something like that?
I don't know. You guys were selling it.
Really? I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen that on the shelf.
Huh. I saw it and it spoke to me and it just said hee hee.
like I just got that. Anyway, as for the matter of the orc, I believe that he has understood the differences, and you might see some changes in the time to come.
Well, that'd be good. I mean, he's not bad company, but he is rough around the edges, if you know what I mean.
Of course, I believe that is holding on to some old habits of his time past, and I think he's understood now that perhaps it is time for change.
Oh, I hope you're right. Anyway, so long as you're here, might as well stay at the inn. No sense in climbing up Mount Celestia on an empty stomach and tired legs. Might as well enjoy the hospitality of the halflings before you go. It's kind of the thing we're famous for.
Yeah, at least you guys know how to make food.
I certainly cannot argue that.
Yeah.
Sounds fine to me.
Hunger.
Although I do confess to praying that our room's big enough for all of us. He gets to himself and
Well,
Like you start
Arvin
turning
said
around and you ram your head right into a chandelier.
the taverns and stuff are like built for
They yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Like Bubba did say that they're buildings that are meant for like middle-sized people.
Yeah, the tavern is the tavern and the inn are specifically sized for human-sized guests.
that's good then.
Like the halfling said, they are well known for their hospitality. And for that matter, Yona actually pays for your stay at the inn on your behalf. At least I could do when you're helping us out.
If you insist, I would be more than willing to pay for my own room and board.
Oh, of course, of course. But, well, when you're staying with halflings, you shouldn't have to. And, yeah, you enjoy a fairly rustic but well-made meal. All of the seasonings are just right. Halfling behind the counter seems to have, claims to have spent centuries perfecting his recipe.
Midway through the meal, Lake contemplates, why do they even need money?
Well, because if they didn't have money, they couldn't pay on each other's behalf.
That tracks.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Grenache just kind of pipes up and goes, well, even here it must be equivalent exchange, I suppose. Just how one good turn deserves another.
Capitalism has corrupted even heaven.
I would not say it's
The
capitalism.
place that hasn't corrupted his space.
It is merely a tool for balance.
That was out of character. I don't think Blake even knows what the fuck a capitalism is.
I mean, might have learned it considering where we came from.
Yeah, Vienna is sort of an early era capitalism. It's sort of poised at the time when capitalism is a superior alternative to just having a king take what he wants all the time.
That doesn't sound great to me.
Anyway, so yes, you enjoy a very long and restful night at the inn. All of your beds are appropriately sized. And you wake up, you say your goodbyes, which takes a good half hour. Just because of how many people show up to say goodbye. And eventually, you climb to the top of the nearest mountain. And from the top of it, you see a vast alpine forest. Large glacier-fed lakes stretching out. And once again, the air has gotten a little bit thinner, not enough to make you giddy like you were on the second layer, but enough to remind you that you are high up, much higher up than you would normally spend your time. And there's a certain chill to the air. Brisk, not uncomfortable, but certainly enough to remind you that, or certainly enough to explain why you can see patches of snow on certain peaks off in the distance. You are now on fourth layer of Mount Celestia.
Yay.
Well, this worked last time, so...
Grenache, make a perception roll.
Oh, okay. I was gonna just do 360 again.
Fuck you.
I'm just taking in the atmosphere a bit and
Alright.
wondering if there's any further he needs to go.
Lake, make a perception roll.
Oh, good! Okay. I'm really good at those, and I have advantage. That's actually correct. Normally, yeah. So
What?
like it. So.
Why, yes, that number is in fact that number.
Well, I
Thank
mean,
you for telling.
it depends. Like, if both of those were below 10, then it would not have been correct.
Yeah, we know how it works.
We have a roguelike, we know. Lake. Grenash's spear is missing. He doesn't seem to be aware of it yet.
Grenache.
What's up?
Spear's missing.
Wait. Gresh reaches, starts looking around. Starts being a bit of a panic all of a sudden. What happened? What?
I don't know. Gone
When did that
now.
happen?
You look up, and there's a Kieran just sort of floating in midair.
Oh, there it is.
Wow, what a weird coincidence.
Right there.
Oh.
Grenache. Oh my god, do I need to grab your head and point it towards...
Okay, you don't need to anymore.
How's
But
it
this
going?
hasn't happened before, okay?
I really just like looks at Lily like.
Excuse the suddenness of my change.
How's it going, you fucked up horse?
Lily.
Lily, come on.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
No.
It goes well. I have, after all, watched you rise through the hills of Mount Celestia. Not many others have done so. But you have had many guides on these slopes. And in Solania, where we are now, it is my turn. Because this is my home. Welcome.
Ah. No wonder why I hate it.
Thank you, and in turn, welcome home.
Yes, it has been a while.
How many thousands of years?
Roughly 300 by your calendar.
Okay.
Oh, only 300? That's tame. I'm
Wait,
surprised.
300 or 300,000?
300.
Okay.
Okay, well then technically you should have said 0.3, but I'll let it go.
This is the home of all Kirin. The god that created us resides on this plane. But from what I read in the eddies of the wind, in the rays of the sun, it would seem that your means of ascension do not lie with my people. In fact, ordinarily it would lie with the one named Jazarian, god and goddess of the Coatl.
The what?
Coatl.
The what?
Quaddle.
Yeah,
No, no,
we
no.
know what those are.
I believe that would have to be a religion check.
Oh no, I haven't trained in religion. Fuck.
Oh, I think I've got this.
Yeah, you probably do, but I'm still gonna roll.
All right.
That's fine.
Ouch.
Damn, I'm smart.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually, somehow Lily has heard about this.
Like,
Only sometimes here, it was like, I need to stay the fuck away from those.
When you steal a lot of expensive books, you come across shit sometimes.
Yeah, you just got curious and read a book somewhere, had an entry about it. But yeah, the Coatl are flying, winged, feathered serpents that are forces of law and goodness. Much like the Kirin, but one-on-one, generally less powerful.
Oh man, feathery dragons. Exciting new skulls.
Not much of a challenge.
Nah.
But anyway, Laquatu, his and her people are spread throughout the multiverse, doing their bidding. But Jazarian's main role in this heaven is to set a gate between here and Mertian, the fifth layer. Only those who successfully answer one of her riddles is allowed to ascend. Normally.
I mean, we've done riddles before.
I would
sounds
leave that to
fine.
presume, though, that in our case it is much different.
They are not the kind of riddles that you can answer with a quick mind. But as I said, that is normally the case. It would seem that Jazarian has left his domain and ascended to the sixth heaven.
There's a 6.
Yes. He is wise enough to move through the layers of heaven as she wishes. But normally they do not. I cannot find a reason on the wind, only a fact of their absence. Still, the ways into the heights will be guarded by other means. Without Jazarian, the mountain will still judge to see if you are worthy or not. And in either event, you may climb to any of the peaks once you have proven yourselves worthy, even when Jazarian is around. So you have your choice of destinations. As I said, my own god is unlikely to see you further up. But
Agreed.
she
It
would
is
not have the
understandable.
she would not have the right sort of challenge you would need to succeed at. But you may find such a challenge in Ouroboros, which is the realm of wisdom, Jazarian's normal stomping grounds. Perhaps also the First Monastery of the Planes Militant. We have had dealings with members of their organization. It is here that their oldest temple, monastery, sits. This is also the realm of the dwarves. Their mines and their monuments are scattered throughout these mountains, deep underneath. But I still sense that they do not have what you need.
Given what we do know of dwarves, I imagine in a place like this they have plenty and will not need or want from any of us. It figures out.
It is not them who are being tested.
Exactly. If we can do no good for them, then Our pastor cannot travel further. I admit, while I do consider the Knights Militant, I am concerned that involving them might mean having reason to descend once more and having to retake the trials to return here. I fail to see what else we can do on the third layer to return to the fourth, which leaves our options limited. With that in mind, I would first propose scouring the ruins, see if there's something we can glean as to why there is a sudden change. I look to the others for any sort of response after that.
I mean,
Yeah, sure.
that sounds like a good idea. Lily says it's okay too.
Don't do that voice.
Perfect impression. Just eerie how close it was.
I was taking a drink of water then. I wasn't expecting that reaction. Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
I think I'm good.
So you're saying you want to go to Ouroboros?
That is the plan, yes. And at least if we can find nothing there, then we would probably visit the knights afterward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Kirin, Temper, in her natural form, just sort of floats ahead, leading the way towards the gates of wisdom, Ouroboros. The place is just about, well, placed at the top of the highest of the peaks of the surrounding mountains. It is high enough that it crosses through the clouds themselves, and you find yourselves as you find yourselves going up a winding path that switches back several times as you go up the rather steep slopes. And once you get to the top, the very peak of this mountain, you don't see anything. You see the end of the road. You see the top of the mountain. And you see the vast gulf of emptiness opening out in front of you, below you, with nothing but the clouds below.
I am inclined to believe this isn't one of those leap of faith situations again.
Heard about that?
I look up to Temper.
To climb to the top of Mount Celestial, you must make at least one leap of faith.
So is this one of those cases, or is the place we seek altered in some way?
Look, do we jump off the cliff or not?
He is very conscientiously silent.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
Why so cryptic? Yeah, it's not really a leap of faith when we all have the means to
Yeah,
like
the
fly
fly.
anyway. So
It's also not a leap of faith if she tells you. You'll be
yeah,
safe.
that's true.
Yeah,
All right.
like fuck it, like just does it. Like does it. If I die, then whatever.
All right.
We have several
You,
100,000 gold. I'm pretty sure we know at least one player capable of bringing me back.
and with that rather sarcastic comment, you hurl yourself off the side of the mountain, and everyone else just sees your body just sort of go poof through the cloud layer. Hear and see nothing more.
All right, I guess I leap through on the back of my griffin.
That's really
Oh,
not
no.
a leap of faith
What
at
will
that
happen?
point. That's not-
What
no,
will happen if
no.
I don't?
No,
The
fuck you. That's not a leap of
strong
faith.
winds of the Mount Celestia catch
Fine.
your griffin's wings and curl you back onto the side of the mountain.
Well, hold on then. So can Red Hair not make the leap of faith? What if he just tucks his wings in?
Yeah. Red Hair cannot fly down.
Yeah, I know. He can jump down though.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you to jump down.
but you attempted to glide down though, so
I
That's-
didn't actually mean it that way. I meant, jump, and the joke is that he can start flying at any moment, but then so can I, so yes. All right. Red Hair, just jump, no flying. It's fine.
Red Hair gives you a long look, but eventually does what you say.
I promise you'll be okay, buddy. Come on.
I looked at Lily. Well, are you going to join us?
Nah, nothing better to do. I ain't sticking around here. This place sucks. And Lily just
Guess I
walks
shouldn't
off the
have
edge.
expected
Just fucking tired already.
that. I would say you're all fools if I didn't know any better. And then Grunash jumps off after them.
We all fall to our deaths. The end.
Yep, that's how the TPK happens.
Bobbin successfully tricked us all into killing ourselves. Next campaign.
After a moment of disorientation, you find yourself landing on your feet with the sensation of having fallen about maybe 2 feet down. So a little bit of a jump to catch yourself on, but certainly not the skydiving off a mountain that you just did. Base jumping. And one by one you guys land, and you find yourselves... It's a bit hard to describe, because you are not in a solid location. You don't even have the sort of solidified clouds that Temper's lair provided. You are simply standing on what should not be solid.
This is interesting.
Magic is bullshit.
And around you, you can sense more than see other people. Plenty of coatls, a few sins. You get impressions of how they look, but not the sort of concrete physicality you're used to. This appears to be a realm of essences, where thought is more solid but the physical is less.
Hmm.
Oh god, not this shit again. Thought we were
As
done with this shit in limbo.
Well, it's not even that. You don't will things into existence so much as you are aware that people are there, and you are aware of what they look like, as if you've read a description and not actively seen them.
Well, this is even worse, and I hate it.
You have fallen into a text adventure.
No!
Hmm.
I hate text parsers.
This is like that one level of Alan Wake.
I need to make sure that I light a torch, otherwise I will be eaten by a grue. Cannot grasp ye flask.
Why on earth can I not get you flask?
Obvious directions are north, south, and Dennis.
Temper has arrived behind you. You can hear her say, "This is Ouroboros. As they say, it is the gates of wisdom. Here you will find some of the greatest minds the multiverse has ever produced. The Coatls, find them and bring them here to discuss philosophy and righteousness and all the various other aspects of the universe. And as soon as you concentrate on one of the individuals, you can hear what they're saying, you can hear who they're talking to, you can hear what they're debating. In one case, it may be about metaphysical versus physical philosophy, and in another case, it is Nietzsche versus Kant.
He just kind of shakes his head a bit of confusion, because he's like, I don't remember casting read thoughts.
You're not reading thoughts. It is simply that you are hearing what you wish to hear out of the crowd from those who are speaking. You are near to those you wish to listen to. You are far away from those you are ignoring.
So it's all about focusing on what we desire, then.
Finally, time to ignore Aurelia's existence.
Well, if you ask aloud, is there anybody here who needs help? Then the response you'll get is, well, what kind of help are you talking about? What is the nature of help?
Oh God. Stuck us all with philosophy students.
Well, isn't the purpose of helping is to aid another in
Oh, no,
whatever
y'all-
that they are struggling with?
All of you keep acting like it's some sort of transactionary thing at this point, so...
So you're saying that help is a transaction,
Yes.
but if that is the case, then why help at all?
Fuck if I know.
Of course, that would be the line of thought there.
Basically, all of you are just sort of finding yourselves drawn into debates on the meaning of words and the meaning of the meanings behind them.
Ah. The realm of pedantic bullshit, I see.
Yeah.
Suddenly Lily regrets being here.
They do get into more concrete topics. Just exploring definitions is essentially, well, foreplay.
Not the fun kind of foreplay Lake is familiar with. Got it.
All right, well, Aurelia's going to start debating.
Master debater Aurelia.
She's more of a cunning linguist, but sure.
Well, here you get to practice all sorts of skills.
Ah, yes, Aurelia known for her sharp tongue.
Gresh at least does attempt to try and link up again with the one who wanted to debate about help.
If help is to be considered a form of charity or assistance, then if it is performed on a transactional basis, if it is performed with the expectation of help done in kind, then exactly how meritorious is help? And if we do not get a transaction in exchange for the help, then what is the point of it? What are we gaining in exchange for our own time and effort?
Lick looks directly at Lily and just starts doing the air jack-off motion.
It loses some of its effect when you only read about it.
Very actually detailed ASCII art.
Okay. Well, if help is consistently a transaction, then perhaps it could be debated that when you help another and you do so without something in return, then it is typically because of something important to yourself. When one helps a child of your own, I would not imagine that they expect anything else from the child. They simply wish decay and nurture for their young. It is a basic instinct to some, and
I'm glad you clarified.
Perhaps, but what is the value of the instinct? It demands that you act in accordance with it, not necessarily for your own benefit, for the benefit of some design outside of your own capability to affect. What is the value of something you are forced into doing by forces that are beyond your ability to control, beyond your ability to understand?
well, sometimes you just do what you must. And sometimes you do what you can. It all depends on circumstance. When it comes to the tasks set before us now, we are doing what we can because we have to. We are among the only ones that are seen as capable enough of doing so. Were we to do nothing, then all that we know, all that we care for, could turn to ruin.
Oh, so you're a determinist. Come on over here. I actually believe in that, unlike this asshole.
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
There's a bit of hesitation, but
I never. Seriously, do you really have to call everyone you have a debate with an asshole? That's because you are all assholes.
He's
guy
got
rules.
you there.
I'm gonna be honest, Demogorgon's lair was nicer than this place.
well, I suppose there is a saying back home that everyone certainly has one, and Much like opinions, they tend to share it even when unnecessary. But I suppose that is neither here nor there.
But
to be clear, that is a low-key jab at the person who chimed in.
It's true, idiots are much like cats. They both love to show you their ass.
That's why cats are assholes. Anyway.
the debating continues. Basically, anytime you ask if anyone needs assistance, anytime you move the conversation around to current events, anytime you ask about how is it that people will get to the higher heaven with Jazarian missing, they always bring it around to a debate. An example of philosophy, some of them more curious, others more leading in the way they frame their arguments. But none of them seem to be particularly in need. On the other hand, for all the time you spend here, you have really no physical needs have asserted themselves. It sort of reminds you of the astral plane. And since the outer planes are connected to the astral plane, you kind of get the feeling that this particular corner of heaven is a little bit closer connected to it than elsewhere.
I wonder what they'd think of my chunk of a dead god.
Well, how do you define a god's death? There are gods who have been dead and come back from the dead. Does that mean that that chunk of dead god is exactly what it is? And now that you've taken it out of the astral plane, can you really say it is a dead god and not simply a chip of stone?
Are you perhaps telling me that that is not dead which can eternal lie? Is that what you're fucking saying to me?
You brought this on yourself, Lily.
Look, if this thing turns to flesh one day, that's money right there, my friend. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but what is the purpose of money except to exchange it for that which you do not have?
You're right. Congrats, you figured it out.
Well, yes, but on the other hand, many people seek out money as if it were the ends and not the means. Does that not mean that money has an intrinsic value that can never be divided?
Oh no, it's time to start discussing game theory.
Again, you brought this on yourself.
Look, people gain utility from spite. Anything can be worth anything. Who knows?
Yeah. I will say in Lily's defense, anytime any of you open your mouths, this is what happens.
Look, buddy, have you ever not understood the satisfaction of just owning something?
But you also soon realize that when you're tired of all of the constant debating, it is very easy to just sort of tune them all out and just take some time for yourself. And like I said before, there is no sense of... your sense of physicality is reduced here. You have no urges that come calling. No hunger, no thirst, no need to empty the bowels. For that matter, you don't even feel sleepy. Just tired of talking until eventually you feel like talking again.
I can't believe the text parser won't let me shit my pants.
And gradually you sort of realize how people could end up here spending their entire eternities here.
It's the home for pedantic assholes, yes. Place sucks.
Some of them are always willing to start a debate with you, but eventually you find some who agree with your theories, and you have pleasant conversation, just discussing the way the world works and how you're all just a part of it, or money has value only when only when value is placed on it.
It's still not as fun as debating the lich who hated my guts, so...
Still, I presume it becomes clear that for all the philosophy and debate that goes on here, it would not give us a path with which to go further.
Like, I've seen kiddie pools less shallow than this bullshit.
Well, you do encounter amongst the philosophers some who are able to impart ideas you had never considered before, or challenge your own ideas in ways that you hadn't realized were lacking.
Okay, but how do I leave? Where's the door?
Just check the word exit. But out of curiosity, are any of you particularly interested in what this realm has to offer?
Yes. I'm gonna debate stuff.
Alright. And at one point, one of the people who have essentially joined your side in a 3-on-3 debate says, so, Aurelia, what is it that brought you here anyway?
Well, do you want the short answer or the long answer?
Well, we're in the middle of something. Just the short version for now.
The short version is that we're trying to get to the top of, to the top of Mount Celestia, or close to it. And we're doing that because we need to get help to defeat an evil entity that is a threat to all of existence.
Heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, you're in such good company here, I'd be ashamed to lose you. Are you sure that all of you need to be a part of this?
Probably. I mean, I have other obligations as well, so I definitely can't stay.
Well, surely you've made it this far. Probably left your obligations to others, or you trust to handle them.
In the short term, certainly, but not in the long term.
Well, still. Look, isn't it so much fun being here? Always the sharpest minds of the multiverse. There's always so much to learn, so much more to understand about how universe and multiverse work.
To an extent, but I don't know. This pitch isn't really going to work on me because I'm really more of a practical application. You know, learning things is great, but applying what you've learned, that's where the real fun is for me. So, if you have some ideas on, political, government, political economy, that kind of thing, please let me know, because I'm all ears. But I do need to go implement them.
I would say just by sheer attractive force, that is what the 6 of you have been debating.
Fair enough. It's great, but the thing is, if you're never going to apply it, what's the point, right? I mean, knowledge for knowledge's sake is kind of, not. It's okay, but it's not the end all be all.
No. Honestly, I didn't leave too much behind when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's different for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am also married, so my wife would probably be upset.
That was one of the things I definitely left behind.
Okay, well,
Please
my
take my
condolences.
wife. God damn, the one time I put something in quotes and it's out of character.
And you hadn't heard from Temper in a while, but as you answer the philosopher the way you did, you hear her voice. And she says, "That was an excellent answer, Aurelia."
I know. Wait, why?
And then the ground fades back into existence underneath all of you. It is a vast open plain out of which erupt massive black domes. Strangely circular and separated.
This place is super uncomfortable and ominous, but I still like it more than the jack-off dimension.
You have made your way to Mertion, the 5th layer of heaven. Because not all of the trials of heaven are tasks to fulfill. Some of them are temptations to resist.
I mean, I'm going to go ahead and claim that I did, in fact, do what I said and solve a riddle.
I mean, in this case, when you're right, you're right.
Temper is no longer with you, either as a Kirin or as a spear. But you get the sense that she will be waiting farther down once it's time to leave.
So I'm still feeling a connection of some sort then, given my
Yes.
attunement. Okay.
Yes, you are still attuned. You know she's around somewhere, but perhaps this is as far as she could go.
Yeah.
Just
I,
cut to the...
yeah, you notice Grunash just having another panic for a moment and then trying to sense some sort of connection. Feeling it, then he relaxes.
Can't believe you missed the horse so much.
Grenache.
Nash, we're not even
Now
gonna
that Temper's
get...
not here for a second, if you need some help, like asking her out, just let me know. I already set Lilly up.
Why
What are you
would
talking
Grenache
about?
want to date a horse?
Yeah, why would Grenache want to date a spear? Why is
A
that?
horse spear.
Yeah, what?
I mean, if you have to ask, I don't know what to tell you.
Why you gotta make
I'm
it
into some weird shit, and even I find dating a spear or a horse pretty weird.
Yeah, even Grunash is eyeing Aurelia suspiciously and like, is this
Well,
something you know
I
that
don't
we
want to, obviously, but I mean, Grunash, look, we've seen the way
I don't
that
think
you look
Grunash
at
is into a
temper.
horse either.
I mean, okay, first of all, not a horse, a Kieran. There's
Oh, a dragon horse. You're right. A fucked up dragon horse.
yeah, okay.
Infinitely
so-
more appealing. You're right.
Correct.
No.
Infinitely
But look,
more than zero is still zero.
I didn't need to explain it. Look, if Grenache is not willing to admit what he wants just yet, that's fine.
Why you gotta go and make it weird?
I just thought I'd offer.
What are you even
I
trying
think
to
you're
say?
literally the only person who thinks this in the entire universe.
Yeah, I guess I'm just a little more perceptive than some people. All right, let's
What
move
the
on.
fuck are you talking about?
And for the record, I'm pretty sure none of you except for Grenache know about the Kieran's shape-shifting.
Yeah, no, that's
None of
why
us have seen.
that's why I in character find this conversation so fucking weird.
And this is why Grenache is eyeing Aurelia like a hawk right now. It's like, what could she possibly know that
I think she just thinks
literally
you want
only
to fuck a horse.
Grenache knows?
I think she just thinks you want to fuck a horse.
I told you she can pick up on the way Grenache talks about her. Like, you know.
No.
You mean
No!
respectfully?
And with that awkward conversation, our session for today comes to an end.